big upset in federal politics this week. Nova Scotia Conservative MP Chris stunned his party by crossing the floor Tuesday to join Prime Minister Mark Carney and the governing Liberals. Rob Batherson is former president of the federal Conservative Party. So you seemed quite upset yesterday, saying that you hadn't felt that betrayed in more than 30 years in politics. Tell me about that.
Well, it's hard when you know someone for 25 years, and when you see someone who looks you in the eye and looks in the eyes of your supporters and says that he will be the voice for Nova Scotia as part of the official opposition. So I never woke up any morning thinking that Chris would become a Liberal when he has run 3 times under the Conservative banner, and without getting into all the personal issues, besides that, what a lot of people don't realize is behind the scenes in politics, there are lots of things that happen in terms of helping those who are front of house, so to speak. I guess we use the theater motif. And so, when you spend a lot of time helping someone and supporting that person, and they turn around and go against what they appear to have stood for, as recently as last August.
Now, he says there are a lot of Conservatives who feel the same way he does. He knows of some, at least. Are you concerned maybe that the Conservative Party is not taking into account the so-called red Tories?
Well, I'm a progressive Conservative, and my values have been progressive Conservative values for 30 years. But I don't walk away. I fight for those values each and every day. And the reality is, in the April 2025 election, more than 200,000 Nova Scotians voted for the Conservative Party of Canada. And Chris d'Entremont came to my annual meeting in Halifax West in June and said he would be the voice for those 200,000 plus Nova Scotians.
Well, could it be, though, that some Conservatives just like the approach, maybe the style that Mark Carney brings to the table as opposed to Trudeau?
Well, I think they should judge Mark Carney on the substance. He promised the best economy in the G7. We have the worst. There's been no action in terms of helping people with the cost of living. Our housing situation continues to deteriorate. We're going to have runaway deficits for years and years and years. That will contribute to a cost of living crisis. And so I think Canadians are going to judge the government whenever that election is, whether it's within weeks or whether it's within years, around delivery and results. And we haven't seen positive results. And Chris d'Entremont himself, interviewed by CBC and other media outlets since the election, talking about how young people are struggling, how fish harvesters are struggling. I stood on a wharf in West Dover with Chris d'Entremont and Rick Perkins and others with fishermen during the federal election, where we promised them we would fight for them. And Chris has walked away from that fight.
In that federal election, d'Entremont won a close race with the Liberals. You yourself ran, you came second. Could that be a reflection of maybe he understands more of what Nova Scotians want from an NP?
Well, we'll see. He ran 3 times as a Conservative, and he told the fishermen in his riding and elsewhere across the province that he would fight for them. And ultimately, the voters make the ultimate decision as to whether it's right or wrong. But the reality is, we are now without a voice in Ottawa. We have a Liberal monopoly, all 11 seats. Nobody at the federal level to hold the government accountable for their promises and to hold the government accountable for cost of living, housing, immigration, our poor economic performance, all those issues. When Mark Carney takes a knee and apologizes to Donald Trump, again, because he seems to like that, who's going to hold him accountable?
Now,
There's nobody.
Mr. d'Entremont says it's time to move a country forward, to stop being so negative. We do hear a lot of negativity from Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives. Lost a huge lead going into the federal election. Mr. Poilievre didn't win his seat, had to go to a by-election. Now he faces a leadership review. What are his chances of leading this party forward, or do you think someone else needs to step up and take his place?
Well, I reject that premise based on the facts. Pierre Poilievre has been advancing solutions to help people. He advanced solutions around making food more affordable by getting rid of packaging tax, getting rid of the industrial carbon tax, which places
But he wasn't able to win the
industries.
election.
No, but he's advanced that as part of a minority government. And if we're going to have unity, then the government needs to work with opposition parties.
So do you think Pierre Poilievre will be the leader come next spring?
Oh, of course. I think there's strong support. I think he has been proven right. All of the major issues of the last couple of years, carbon tax, people said he was wrong, he was proven right. Housing, people said he was wrong, he was proven right. Inflation, people said he was wrong, he's been proven right. And so, he needs to continue to fight for solutions that people are looking for. And until the government decides that they want to work with the opposition as opposed to just digging in, that's the way we're going to get solutions, by having the government work with the opposition parties. And it's unfortunate that Chris doesn't want to be part of the solutions and championing those issues, as opposed to just being part of 11 Liberal MPs. And we've seen from the first Trudeau mandate, we saw from the Chrétien mandate 93, 97, when all the MPs are one party, Nova Scotia ends up getting taken for granted.
All right, well, interesting times in politics for sure. Thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Amy.